Thiruchitrambalam, Hara Hara Nama Parvati, Padaye, Hara Hara Mahadeva, Sitsavesa, Sivasidambaram, தென்னாருடைய சிவனே போற்றி எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். எடுக்கும் மாக்கதை இந்தமிழ் செய்யுளாய் நடக்கும் என்னை நமக்கருள் செய்திட தடக்கை ஐந்துடை தாழ்செவி நீழ்முடி கடக்களிற்றை கருத்துள் இருத்துவாம். உலகலாம் உணர்ந்தோதற்கரியவன் நிலவுலாவிய நீர்மலிவேணியன் அலகில் சோதியன் அம்பலத்து ஆடுவான் மலசிலம்படி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவான். சைவத்தின் மேற்சமயம் வேரிலை அதில் சார் சிவமாம் தெய்வத்தின் மேற் தெய்வம் இல்லனும் நான் மறைச்சம்பருள் வாய்மை வைத்த சீர் திருத்தேவாரமும் திருவாசகமும் உய்வை தரச் செய்த நால்வர் பொற்றாள் எம்முயிர் துணையே. தில்லைவாழந்தனரை முதலாக சீர்படைத்த தொலையதாம் திருத்தொண்ட தில்லைவாழந்தனரை முதலாக சீர்படைத்த தொலையதாம் திருத்தொண்ட தொகையடியார் பதம் போற்றி. உலையவர் புராணகதை உலகறிய விரித்து உரைத்த செல்வமர் குன்றத்தூர் சேக்கிழாரடி போற்றி. ஆதாரமாகிய மாணிக்க வாசகர் பாரவிந்தம் பணிவோம். பண்டு செய்த தீதான பாவங்கள் எல்லாம் தீர்ந்து ஞானோதயம் வந்து கூடிடுமே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். ஹரஹர நம பார்வதி பதையே ஹரஹர மகாதேவா சித்சபேசா சிவசிதம்பரம். திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Dear devotees, welcome back to the Periyapuranam Discourse series. By the grace of the Almighty Lord Shiva, today we are going to think through the wonderful history of the great Aanaya Nayanar Puranam. Aanaya Nayanar was from a town called Thirumangalam, which is part of called a country Male Malanadu, and currently it's if you refer this to the latest city, it's close to Thiruchitrambalam. From Thiruchitrambalam, a few kilometers, you can reach Thirumangalam by another 20-30 minutes by car. So it's very close to Thiruchitrambalam. Nayanar was born in that wonderful town, Thirumangalam. In that Thirumangalam, the Lord of Thirumangalam, Swami name is Sri Samavedishwarar, an amazing temple. We must at least go and worship the Lord Shiva in that temple at least once in life. Wonderful temple. David Chekla Swamigal wonderfully explains the beautiness of this great town, Thirumangalur, where our Nayanar was born. He explains that Malanadu was famous for its gardens and groves, and it was a beautiful town in the whole country, and in the fragrant oases on the sides, the moon in the sky ascends. In the bounds of the farms where the paddy straws are spread, the clouds float in the lofty straws where the paddy is fully harvested. Thus the long fertile land of the upper plains, it means that the cloud came from the sky, and it is just getting settled over the lofty straws where the paddy is fully harvested. And at the top of the trees, there are a lot of trees around the town, and around the trees there are a lot of beetles flying around all the time, making the sounds. The moon from the sky ascends in the bounds of farms where the paddy straws are spread. So the beetles that are scattered in the oases and wander in the high tree trunks. In the meantime, the heat rays from the sun are also set to stay in the same place, and such a beautiful country is called Thirumangalam. Beautiful city is called Thirumangalam, which is part of Melmalanadu. So Nayanar, Empiran Aanaya Nayanar, he took birth in the race of Ayar community. Ayar community, the community that own and serve the cow herds. That's why Nayanar name is Aanayar. Means cow in Tamil. That means since he had a very big herd of cows, Nayanar, and he loved cows. He was taking very good care of cows. And there are a few songs that in Periyapuranam that explains how Nayanar took care of the cows. We will also just think through that when we discuss Empiran Sunday's Nayanar Puranam as well. So he loved taking care of the cow, cattle, and Nayanar was also an exponent in playing the flute. The music of the flute helped him lead the cattle for grazing and also for bringing them back after they grazed. So based on the music Nayanar makes out of his flute, the cow will take that as an order and direction to graze. So he took the herds of the cows together in the wide grassy land every day and protected them from suffering from the deadly beasts that lurk in the forest, and such as tigers, crocodiles, and any other deadly beast that may hurt a cow. So he protected them. He protected those cows from them, and also any corresponding diseases that cow may get it. He was making sure that the cow get access to good grazing area, pure water, and so on. And he made and ensure they also have access to good and soft grass for them to graze everywhere, and made them drink pure water that the cows wanted. And he maintained the cows with really, really good care. He took care of them very well. So the cow started breeding and it multiplied day by day. So there are, Thiruchitrambalam Swamigal also explains the different type of cattle kept in Gosala. Gosala means the place where we keep the cow and cattle. So there were many stalls in Thirumangalam full of different lodgings with calves, weanling cows, fertile cows with small beautiful heads and fine hair, heifers, and herds of weaning bulls. So what they have done, they have had separate areas for the type by the type of the cattle. The calves that cannot provide milk, the calves that are very small, they kept it in one place. The cows that cannot provide any milk, they kept it in another place. All the milking cows, they kept it in one place. Bulls were kept in a different place. And then now coming to the main point of the Puranam itself, Nayanar played Shiva Panchakshara as a tune on his flute. As I said before, Nayanar was an expert in playing flute. That music came out of the flute that Nayanar used was so divine and mesmerizing. And Thiruchitrambalam Swami also explained the structure of Aanaya Nayanar from head to foot. Remember when we went through Empiran Kannappa Nayanar Puranam, Tirukalathi Kannappa Nayanar Puranam, Thiruchitrambalam Swamigal was describing the beautiness of Kannappa Nayanar structure and decoration, starting from foot to head. Here, Aanaya Nayanar, he started from head to feet. Kesadi Padam, Padadi Kesam. Then here, the Thiruchitrambalam Swamigal says, Nayanar was wearing flower garlands in his chest. It was adorning his chest, and his hair tied up in a bun, just like Kannappa Nayanar. We discussed the same. He was wearing flowers in his ears and a leather footwear on his feet. And the reason Thiruchitrambalam Swamigal made a few phrases to explain the beautiness of Aanaya Nayanar, because he went to Kailash in the same form. That's why Devachikla Swamigal, he always made sure that he's, he gives us some few phrases describing the beautiness of Nayanar. By thinking through that, by reading that, we'll get rid of all our sins. And then he explained the beautiness of Nayanar, and a different season came in, more like a spring, where the whole area became a giant, filled with giant garden of flowers. Nayanar was grazing his cows. Uh, at that time, Nayanar was always thinking of Lord Shiva every second. So while he was grazing, while he was going through the forest, he saw a kondrai tree. Kondrai is very, very auspicious to Shaivis, right? Lord Shiva loves kondrai. Vilvam or kondrai, very, very special to the Almighty Lord Shiva. So wherever we see Vilva, we should bow our head to Vilva. We should bow our head to kondrai. The Nayanar saw the kondrai tree. Shiva loves kondrai, so he saw that tree as Shiva himself. He went around the tree, which just appeared like the Almighty Lord Shiva, and started playing on his flute. Aanaya Nayanar, who was having a garland hanging clusters of fragrant flowers, and then looking at the tree, standing like Lord Shiva himself, with his braid hanging down on his sides, just like the kondai flowers hanging around all over. So he saw the blossoming of the sweet-smelling tree. It was melting his heart, and it started overflowing with the love that grew in his heart, just like overflowing with the milk of his Lord. And then he started playing the wonderful music of Panchakshara, and the most mesmerizing music, which emerged from the flute and filled the whole area with this divine sweetness. The cattle, cows, for listening to that music, the cattle and cows forgot to graze on the grass. They forgot. They just forgot themselves. And the calves forgot to drink milk from the cows. Calves always be around their mother cow, be drinking milk all the time whenever they get a chance. But the calves forgot to drink milk because they were just listening to the divine music of Panchakshara. The men and women forgot their duties. Wild animals forgot their animosity. For instance, deer and peacocks forgot to prance and dance. Deer and tigers stood very close by. Elephants and lions, that always fight with each other, stood very close by. They forgot themselves. And the celestial beings like Devas forgot themselves in this music. And Devachikla Swamigal gives us a wonderful phrase. He says, Thiruchitrambalam, மெய்யன்பர் மனத்தன்பின் விளைந்த இசைக்குழல் ஓசை வையம் தன்னையும் நிறைத்து வானம் தன்மயமாக்கி பொய்யன்புக்கு எட்டாத பொப்புவில் நடம்புரியும் ஐயந்தன் திருச்செவியின் அருகு அணைய பெரியதால் மெய்யன்பர் மனத்தன்பின் விளைந்த இசைக்குழல் ஓசை. The sound of the flute, the music produced by the love in the heart of Empiran Aanaya Nayanar, filled the whole earth and sky and world. Vayam tannayum niraithu vaanam tanmayamaakki பொய்யன்புக்கு எட்டாத பொற்புதுவில் நடம்புரியும். The lotus feet of Lord Shiva, who dances in the golden assembly of Thiruchitrambalam, those feats cannot be attained by fake love. It needs true love. பொய்யன்புக்கு எட்டாத பொற்பதில் இடம்பெரியும் ஐயந்தன் திருச்செவியின் அருகனைய பெருகியதால். The ears of Lord Shiva, the music just swelled like a dam. It reached the ears of Lord Shiva. All the 14 words intoxicated by this divine music. Swami could not wait any longer. Lord Shiva, Goddess Parvati, enthralled by the divine music, and they appeared over the great Nandi Devar, Periyapuranam, and gave Aanaya Nayanar a darshan of Uma Sahitamurti. And then also took Aanaya Nayanar with him to Kailash. Aanaya Nayanar went to Kailash along with his flute as well. Nayanar won the proximity of Lord Shiva and attained the lotus feet of the Almighty Lord Shiva with the help of this divine music that came from true love from his heart. So that's the story of Empiran Aanaya Nayanar. The main message here, devotees, that we usually get from 63 Nayanmar history, they always try to worship Shiva in the way they could do it. Nayanar that just gave a fish every day. He was a fisherman. Adipata Nayanar, he gave fish to Lord Shiva. Aanaya Nayanar was just taking care of the cattle every day, and while taking care of those cattle, he was playing divine Panchakshara music to Lord Shiva. That was his service. So that's a message we get. We may be doing or any other work. We may have different professions, whatever it is. Based on whatever we do to earn for our living, we should make every effort just for our own welfare. Pray to Almighty Lord Shiva. Go through this history, wonderful history of Nayanmar and Purana as well. So with that said, let's close the class for today. என்றும் இன்பம் பெருகும் இயல்பினால் ஒன்று காதலித்து உள்ளம் முங்கிட மன்றுளார் அடியார் அவர் வான்புகள் என்றது எங்கும் நிலவி இவ்வுலகலாம். Let me pay my obeisance to the lotus feet of the Chekla Swamigal and also to the 57th Konambati Kalyanapuri Adi, the 57th party of Shri Guru Mahasanam Rajasaramanika Swamigal as well. Thiruchitrambalam, Hara Hara Nama Parvati Padeye Hara Mahadeva Sitsabesa Sivasidambaram Thiruchitrambalam.